Hi everyone! If you're new here, I'm Aude, a writer and filmmaker. I've written novels, short films, and short stories over the years in French and English. And today I'm traveling to Oslo, Norway, which is my third and last Scandinavian country. Like in Pokemon, I guess I'm trying to catch them all and visit all the Scandinavian countries. So as soon as I arrived, I was told that Norway, the vibes were different from Copenhagen, and had such a great time in Copenhagen. I was like, okay, that's fine. So anyway, I got some vegan food that was pretty decent, and then I went to my hotel. So sadly, my hotel was mid. It was obviously expensive, very small. There were barely, a fridge, which is very important for me because, like I've said, I eat small portions. So I always have goodie bag, a takeaway bag, and I always store my food. And I'm a leftover girly. I'm always eating leftovers. So the hotel wasn't great, so I wouldn't recommend it. So I am not afraid of the cold, and it wasn't that cold in Norway, but the good thing is that there were Max burgers. One thing I love about Scandinavia is Max burgers. I love them so much. It has such a great range of vegetarian and vegan burgers, and I'm surprised because I'm not even a vegan burger girly. I'm more of a pizza and donut when it comes to fast food, but it's really good. Anyway, I bought these cookies for almost €9. This was a fucking scam. Two cookies are not worth €9. After that, but I knew I would be scammed. Anyway, after that, I took the bus to go to Big Doy. Sorry if I'm butchering any names, which is an island filled with statues. And I've mentioned that, but in Scandinavia, statues are absolutely loved, and there are a lot of them in different parks. So it wasn't too cold. It was minus 3 degrees on the first day Celsius, and then -7. So that was fine. I was prepared for it. Like I've said, I am a cold weather girly. Usually by -10, I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable. So after that, I went to the Viglands Park, which is one of the most famous and one of the highlights of Oslo. And it was a big park. Statues were also pretty dark, imposing, and memorable. I walked along a bridge. There were a little bit more tourists than I thought, especially because it was so cold, and Norway is not necessarily a super touristy destination. But that was really beautiful. So yes, obviously I'll say if there's something you can do for free in Oslo, do it. And I saw French tacos. If you're French, you know it. If you don't know it, you don't have to know it. But I was like, oh my god, French tacos are everywhere. We need to stop these people. I feel like in terms of fast food, there's so many good French fast foods. Why did people decide to make tacos that make no sense? Anyway, one thing about Norway is that people are rich, and you can see it by the size of their houses. Like some of them actually are giving some kind of San Francisco kind of vibe. When I was a kid, I used to watch a TV show Charmed, and they had this big San Francisco. I think it was in San Francisco. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. San Francisco houses, and I saw these in Norway. They have so much space and they have so much money. That was in the Nobel Prize Museum, and then the National Museet, and I decided to go to the National Museet. So when I said that people in Norway are rich, I'm going to tell you why. In that museum, there were at minimum 5 people working the museum per room. Usually you barely see one security. That's how much money they have, that they're literally throwing it, creating roles and jobs that are not even necessary. The National Museum was huge. It was massive. I had 3 hours and I barely had the time to finish it. They had so much money that we were literally just buying these African artworks just like that. They had so much money that they literally explained that they bought some artwork, some painting, not this one because that's Edward Munch for Scream, which is so famous, and I really like that painting, so I was glad to see it. But they were saying in the museum that they had so much money that they literally bought a painting and then realized it was fake, and they were like, okay, that's what's up. Wild. So anyway, I saw that one. I liked this kind of like fake, replica of real, kind of like real lives rooms. Oh yeah, that installation was pretty cool. I really liked it. They also had a retrospective of indigenous Suomi artists, which are the indigenous people of Norway who have been, oppressed by the state. So that was good to at least have them acknowledge it. Then the next day, everything was closed. Everything was closed because it was a season. And unfortunately for me, all my favorite over vegan and vegetarian restaurants I wanted to go to were closed. So I went to the only bookstore, one of the only bookstores open, and then I explored the city and I went back to Max Burger. And I'm a little bit ashamed because when I travel, I pride myself in eating local food and eating Scandinavian burgers. It's local and it's not local, but Max Burgers is so good, and I was like, when is the next time I'm gonna have a Max Burger anyway? And usually my order at Max Burger is always the same. I get a burger, I get the sweet potato fries, and I get a smoothie. And although it's cold, sometimes I still get the smoothie. One thing I really liked was that it was snowing, and the kids were literally like, one of the lake had frozen, and I saw a bunch of kids ice skating, and that was so cute. I like ice skating, but I've hurt myself the last time, so I'm a little bit worried about doing that again. I'm not so good. I'm pretty average. So I tried the bakeries in Norway, in Oslo, and I'm sorry to say it wasn't as good. But what was amazing was Deichman. So Deichman, what it is. At first I thought it was a German thing. It is not. It's a library that also sells books. It's massive. I loved it. I wish I had discovered it so much because this was such a wonderful place. They had so many books. We had obviously Norwegian books. We even had Vietnamese books. They had I think they even had French books. We had all kind of different sections. It was so great. It was such a pleasant place, and there were so many different treasures. I wished I had spent more time over there, and it really made me wanna discover and read more Norwegian authors. So if you've made it that far in the video, do you know any Norwegian authors I should be reading? Looking to hear any kind of suggestions you might have. If you don't know any, are there any authors from your country that you think I should read? Let me know, and that would be a pleasure for me because I'm always discovering new literature. So look at the building. It was great. Unfortunately, it was closing down because everything was closing down because it was a holiday. So I walked around the lake. So that lake hasn't frozen, so the birds were still there. I walked past the Munch Museum. Sadly, all the restaurants I wanted to try were closed, and even the shops, like there was a design shops that were closed. So I walked around Kempen Toyen, and that was really, really, really a great place. It was really colorful in a way that reminded me a little bit of Reykjavik, and also somehow reminded me of Belleville. Anyway, I walked past that store and they had my favorite all-time chairs, the Marcel Douai chair. Oh my god, I wish I will be able to afford it one day. I really like the art in Kempentoyen, and the diversity really reminded me of home, of all the different populations, So it was really nice. And yes, the day was ending because, of course, daylight is very limited during winter time. So I just had a very, very, very long walk. Got my bakery. It wasn't that great. And then I had to wake up super early the next day, took my train, and then it was time for me to go home. That was a short and very sweet trip. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I have visited now all the Scandinavian countries. I somehow really like them. I think that if given the chance, I will go back to Sweden for sure. It had snowed and Sweden looked magical. And I will absolutely go back to Copenhagen because I had such a good time. And of course, I stopped at Max in Sweden. So unfortunately, I had to take Dutch Bahnhof on my way back. I hate them. If I have one hater, that means that I'm dead. But I had a very good time. Have you been to Norway before? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe to my channel for more writing and filmmaking related videos. If you want to support my small business and my work, look at my website as well as my books available in most online stores.